Have you ever stopped to ask yourself why so many men, once they hit 60, start feeling like they're slowly losing their strength, their confidence, and that spark of connection in their most intimate moments? And why hardly anyone out there is willing to talk about real solutions that don't involve pricey prescriptions or complicated procedures? Well, today I want to share something with you that might just change the way you think about aging. Picture this: an ingredient you can grab at any grocery store, sitting right there on the spice aisle between the cinnamon and the nutmeg, that has the power to boost your circulation, wake up your senses, and bring back that vitality you thought was gone for good. No doctor's visits required, no nasty side effects, and nothing to feel embarrassed about. I'm talking about the clove, that tiny, fragrant little spice most of us only pull out during the holidays for pumpkin pie or mulled cider. But very few folks know it as a powerhouse ally for men's health. Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Chloe Bennett, and for over 25 years I've been working with men in my private practice right here in the States, specializing in men's wellness, hormonal balance, and prevention of issues tied to the prostate. And let me tell you, what I've seen throughout my career is crystal clear. Nature has solutions tucked away that most of us walk right past without a second glance. Cloves are packed with natural compounds that improve circulation, support hormonal function, stimulate the nerves, and can seriously boost your overall energy. And yet, most older men never make them a regular part of their daily routine. Now, before I go any further, I want to address something head on. I read every single one of your comments, and I heard you loud and clear. A lot of you have written to me saying, "Doc, you talk about all these benefits, but how do I actually make the tea? How many cloves? How much water? Do I boil it or just steep it?" So today, I'm not going to leave you hanging. Later in this video, I'm going to walk you through the exact recipe, step by step, so you can start today. Stick with me all the way to the end because I'll also share the common mistakes that can ruin the whole thing, plus a few important warnings for those of you dealing with specific health conditions. Your questions matter to me, and I promise you're going to walk away from this video with everything you need. All right, let's get into it. The first big benefit is boosting blood flow to the intimate area. Here's the thing. Once you hit 60, your number one enemy becomes poor circulation. It's not always about hormones, it's about the plumbing, if you'll pardon my saying so. The eugenol found in cloves naturally relaxes your blood vessels, helping oxygen-rich blood reach exactly where it needs to go. I remember a patient of mine, a retired math teacher from just outside Chicago, a wonderful guy named Robert, 68 years old. He came into my office one afternoon, sat down across from me, and with a tired look in his eyes said, "Doc, the desire is still there, but my body just won't cooperate anymore. I feel like a stranger in my own skin." After about 3 weeks of drinking a daily clove infusion, he came back for a follow-up, and I could see the change on his face before he even spoke. "Chloe," he said, "I feel alive again. I don't know how else to describe it." And I told him what I'm telling you. It's not magic. It's consistency. And it's giving your body the natural support it's been asking for. But for that blood to flow the way it should, your body needs a clear signal. And that signal is nitric oxide. Here's something a lot of men don't know. By the time you're in your 60s, your nitric oxide levels have dropped by about half compared to when you were in your 30s. That's a huge reason your body doesn't respond the way it used to. Cloves, thanks to their powerful antioxidants, help restore that natural messenger, clearing up the static on the line, so to speak. I had another patient, Frank, a 73-year-old retired electrician from Ohio. He decided to pair his daily clove tea with morning walks around his neighborhood, and within just a few weeks he told me he felt a real difference, not just down there, but in his whole body. He had more stamina, he slept better, and he said he actually looked forward to his mornings again. Now let's talk about testosterone, because I know that's on a lot of your minds. Cloves can actually support healthy testosterone levels by protecting the cells in your body that produce it from oxidative stress. I've seen this play out time and time again in my practice. One case that stands out is Sam, a retired high school principal from Texas. He came to me feeling flat, drained, disconnected from his wife of 40 years. Not because anything was wrong between them, but because he had just lost that fire. After adding an evening cup of clove tea to his nightly routine, along with some simple lifestyle changes, He came back months later and told me his marriage felt new again. He had his energy back, his enthusiasm back, and that deep connection with his wife had returned in ways he didn't think were possible anymore. Inflammation is another silent enemy, and this one hits hard for a lot of older men. It can affect both the prostate and the tissues in the intimate area, causing discomfort, swelling, and a loss of sensitivity that creeps up on you slowly. Eugenol acts as a natural anti-inflammatory, calming things down right at the source. Take Ed, a carpenter who retired after 45 years of hard work with his hands. He noticed a big drop in his discomfort and a more steady, reliable flow after just a month of making clove tea part of his daily routine. He told me, "Doc, I wish I'd known about this 20 years ago." And speaking of sensitivity, a lot of men open up to me about this and say, "Chloe, I can go through the motions, but I just don't feel the same emotions, the same closeness anymore." That's a real thing, and it's not something to be ashamed of. Cloves help oxygenate the nerve endings, restoring both the physical and emotional connection you might have lost. One patient, Leo, 72 years old from Arizona, decided to go a step further and combine his clove infusion with gentle abdominal massages using a clove oil blend, properly diluted, of course. Before long, he told me his relationship with his wife had found its closeness and vitality again. He said it felt like they were dating all over again. But it's not just about physical function. Desire, that spark that keeps intimacy alive in a marriage, can fade with the years too. And let's be honest, life in America these days is no joke. You've got the constant pressure of bills, helping out the grandkids, maybe caring for aging parents or a sick spouse, and the daily grind of just keeping up. It's no wonder that spark gets buried under all that weight, even in strong, loving relationships. Cloves have been valued for centuries as a natural aphrodisiac across many cultures, from the Middle East to India to indigenous communities right here in the Americas. And modern science is starting to back up what our ancestors knew all along. I had a patient, George, 70 years old from Florida, who told me he loved his wife deeply more than anything in the world, but his drive had dropped to almost nothing. He felt guilty about it, like he was letting her down. We worked together on a simple plan, clove tea before bed, setting aside screen-free time each evening to actually talk and reconnect. A few months later, he told me, "Chloe, it came back on its own. I didn't have to force a thing." Now, let's talk about something every man over 60 needs to pay attention to: the prostate. Millions of American men deal with an enlarged prostate and just accept it as part of getting older. But here's what really gets to me. It's not just the constant bathroom trips at night that wreck your sleep. It's the hit it takes on your confidence. You start avoiding road trips, skipping movie theaters, turning down dinner invitations, all because you're worried about where the nearest restroom is. Cloves, with their antioxidants and anti-inflammatory properties, help protect this vital organ, reducing discomfort and improving blood flow to the area. One of my patients, Henry, a retired firefighter from Pennsylvania, went from getting up 5 times a night to just once or twice. He told me he'd forgotten what a full night's sleep felt like until he started this routine. Now I want to pause here and address something directly because I saw a really important question come in from one of you, and it deserves a real answer. Someone wrote in saying, "Doc, I don't have a prostate anymore because I had cancer. Can I still use this remedy?" First off, thank you for trusting me with that question. For those of you who've had prostate surgery or are currently in treatment for any kind of cancer, I want you to hear me clearly. Please, before you start any herbal routine, even something as gentle as clove tea, talk to your oncologist or your primary care physician. Cloves can interact with blood thinners and certain medications, and everyone's post-surgery situation is different. This isn't me trying to scare you off, it's me looking out for you the same way I'd look out for my own father. A quick 5-minute conversation with your doctor can give you peace of mind and the green light to move forward safely. All right, now let's talk about something a lot of men try to hide: erectile difficulties. And listen, if you're watching this, you're not alone. Millions of American men deal with this, and it's usually a sign that your circulation, your hormones, or your nerves need some support. Cloves work on several fronts at once. They widen blood vessels, calm inflammation, and improve the nerve signals that make everything work together. I remember Manuel, 71 years old, a widower who had found love again and wanted to enjoy this new chapter with his partner. He'd tried the prescription route, but the side effects were rough on him. Headaches, flushing, and an upset stomach that made intimacy the opposite of enjoyable. So we went natural. A daily clove infusion, some simple diet tweaks like cutting back on processed foods, and gentle daily walks. After about a month, he sat in my office, looked me in the eye, and said, "Chloe, I feel like myself again." That right there is the real power we're talking about, the confidence that comes back when your body starts responding on its own. There's another factor a lot of people don't connect to men's health, and that's sleep. Getting good sleep is absolutely essential for balancing your hormones, improving circulation, and keeping your energy up. Here in America, insomnia in older adults is incredibly common, and too many guys end up reaching for sleeping pills that leave them groggy and foggy the next day. A nighttime clove infusion relaxes the nervous system gently, helping you fall into a deeper, more restful sleep without that hungover feeling the next morning. Ricky, a former high school football coach from Georgia, got his energy and his spirit back after just a month of this simple routine. He told me, "Doc, I didn't realize how bad I felt until I finally started sleeping right again." And this all leads us to what I think is the most powerful reason of all to give cloves a try. Getting back your full identity as a man. Beyond the physical function, beyond the desire, there's something even deeper, the feeling of being present, confident, and truly alive in your own skin. Over 25 years of practice, I've sat with so many men who wouldn't call themselves depressed, but who quietly tell me, "I just don't feel like myself anymore." And that right there breaks my heart every time. Cloves aren't a miracle cure. I want to be straight with you about that. But they are a complete natural support system that improves circulation, helps regulate hormones, calms inflammation, stimulates the nerves, and supports deep restorative sleep. A patient of mine, Ricardo, a retired engineer from California, 74 years old, started with daily clove tea and gentle massages using diluted clove oil. A few months later, he walked into my office, shook my hand with a firm, confident grip, looked at me with a wide smile and said, "Chloe, I feel like me again." Okay, now for the part all of you have been waiting for, the exact recipe. I promised I wouldn't leave you hanging, and I keep my promises. Here's exactly how you make clove tea the right way. Grab 3 to 5 whole cloves, not the ground stuff. You want the whole bud so you get all the natural oils. Bring 1 cup of water, about 8 ounces, to a gentle boil. Once it's boiling, drop your cloves in, turn the heat to low, cover the pot with a lid, and let it simmer for about 10 minutes. That lid is important, folks, because it traps all the healing compounds inside instead of letting them evaporate into your kitchen. After 10 minutes, take it off the heat and let it steep for another 5 minutes. Then strain it into your cup and drink it warm. If you want, you can add a small spoonful of raw honey to soften the taste, especially if you're not used to strong spices. Drink 1 cup in the morning on an empty stomach, or 1 cup about an hour before bed. Start with 3 cloves a day and see how your body responds before working up to 5. Never go above 5 cloves in a single day. That's really important. You want consistency, not intensity. A few more tips based on questions I've gotten from all of you. First, buy your cloves from a reliable source, ideally organic if you can swing it. You can find them at most grocery stores, places like Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, or even the regular spice aisle at Kroger or Safeway. A small jar will last you weeks. Second, don't throw out the steeped cloves right away. You can actually reuse them one more time if you refrigerate them and use them within 24 hours. Third, if you're on blood thinners like warfarin or aspirin therapy, if you have a bleeding disorder, if you're scheduled for surgery in the next 2 weeks, or if you're on medications for diabetes or high blood pressure, please check with your doctor before starting. Cloves are powerful, and that power cuts both ways. Here in our country, where preventive men's health still faces so many unspoken taboos and locker room silence, we need to remember that small, consistent changes can create a huge impact on your quality of life. Cloves are cheap, they're accessible, and they're easy to add to your daily routine. You can drink the tea morning or night. You can add whole cloves to stews and chilies for flavor, or you can use properly diluted clove oil for gentle self-massage. The key here is consistency, folks. This isn't about chasing your younger years. It's about holding on to the strength, the confidence, and the connection that give your life meaning every single day. If you're a man over 60 and you've been feeling like something inside you has started to dim, please don't wait for things to get worse. Start today. Try the clove tea I just walked you through, every morning or every night. Pair it with gentle daily walks, a balanced diet full of vegetables and lean proteins, and regular checkups with your doctor. Within a few weeks, I promise you'll notice real changes in your energy, in how you sleep, and in your overall sense of well-being. And please, if you're dealing with any serious health conditions, keep your doctor in the loop. Natural remedies and modern medicine work best when they work together, not against each other. I want to take a moment here to thank every single one of you who has left a comment on my videos, asking questions, sharing your stories, and even helping each other out in the comments. I read them all, and they shape the content I make. If you have more questions after this video, drop them in the comments below. I'm working on follow-up videos answering your most common questions, including one specifically about which medical conditions require extra caution with herbal remedies, and another about how to choose the best quality cloves at the store without getting ripped off. If this information has been useful to you, please give this video a thumbs up so more men in our community can find these natural tools that can truly transform their lives. Share it with that buddy, brother, neighbor, or fellow church member who you think might need to hear this. And hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the follow-up videos where I answer your questions directly and share more practical, science-backed advice made specifically for men who want to live with health, dignity, and vitality. Because sometimes what looks like a tiny little detail, something as small as a clove, can actually be the first step toward getting back the biggest thing of all, your well-being and your confidence. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one. This is Dr. Chloe Bennett signing off.